going to show you what's on my iPad Pro 2020. I'm so excited because I just got this a few weeks ago and I'm really obsessed with it. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth. I'm a violist and I run the blog lifefromtheviolasection.com, which is always linked down in the description box. I would love it if you would check out my blog. I always post practice tips and videos about general musician advice and just how my music career and schooling is going, and the blog posts correspond with the videos that I make too, so you can kind of see and read both similar things. So when I was shopping for an iPad over the summer, I would always go to YouTube to see like how musicians use their iPads and kind of what apps are out there that would be useful for me, and I didn't find many videos that really showed me what the iPad was capable of for musicians. So I hope that this video can serve that purpose for you if you are a musician or like a college student, conservatory musician looking to buy an iPad and see what is right for you. So I bought this iPad to replace my 2015 iPad Air 2. The iPad was just a little bit too small. You can see the size difference. It's a pretty large size difference. So it was hard for me to read sheet music on it, and since it's so old, it's not compatible with the Apple Pencil. So that was a huge drawback for me. Plus it worked really well, but it was just starting to show its age. So, you know, I was still able to do a lot on this, and it's still great for like watching YouTube and just random little things, but this is such a major upgrade, and I'm holding it upside down. But let's see what's on this. Welcome to my iPad Pro. This is the 2020 iPad Pro. It's space gray. You might be able to tell down here. So it's space gray. It is 128 gigabytes and it's the 12.9 inch display, which I think is a great size for musicians. It's the perfect size to read music off of. I was kind of worried that it would be too big, but it's really great for reading sheet music, which is the main reason why I bought this. So here's the size of my iPad compared to a book of sheet music. You can tell they're about the same size. And then let's compare the size of the actual music. So you can see the sheet music is a little taller. There's more space between each line. That could be the additions, but the notes are about the same size. And it's basically just as easy to read. This is a pretty thick page, but here's a little less dense of a page. So it's very comparable to the size of standard sheet music. I did buy this at the end of September with the education discount, which included free AirPods. These are just the regular version. So much fun. And I got this case on Etsy. I'll link it below if you're interested in getting one. And then here we have the little AirPod animation. It's so exciting. And then I also bought the Apple Pencil 2, which is the one that goes with the 2020 iPad, and I got this little silicone case for it on Amazon. I'll link that down below too. I got the case because I heard that when you stick it to the magnet on the side without a case, after a while it can kind of scratch up the side of your iPad, and I want to avoid that, and also it's really comfortable with this on. And then my case is also from Amazon. It's by Finty, who also made the case that I used on my 2015 iPad. Didn't realize when I bought it, but my 2015 iPad case held up pretty well over 5 years, so I was happy with that. And then I do have a clear plastic screen protector on this. I did not get a matte version, which I know is a little more enjoyable to write on, but I just wanted to really enjoy the display of the iPad just because it's so beautiful. So I absolutely love the widgets on the side, and I have this Pinterest widget. So you can choose a specific board and it'll just scroll through pictures of your board. So right now I have it on like my fall board and it's beautiful. And then this scrolls through different pictures in my Photos app. This shows the battery levels, weather, Apple News, a little Foursquare widget, just plays different pitches. And then Google News too. And then a nice little Google Keep widget, which I use a lot. And then I have this nice little calendar widget. I made that through Widgetsmith actually. So let's start with my music specific apps. First I have Foursquare, which is, you know, my music reading software. So I just have it open to the regular Viola suites because, as you know, that's what I've been working on. So I did bookmark them so that you can see, like, okay, this is the first suite, first movement, second page of that. So I've been working on the third suite, which starts right here. You can see all of my notes. Super nice. It's very easy to write. Let's say I wanted to write in some fingerings here. See, super easy to use. If I want to draw in this note head, makes it look nicer. You can also write without zooming in. It still looks good. Okay. Yeah, super easy to use. And then I will show you a little bit of the organization. So right now it's under composers. So Rigger, let's go all the way out. Okay. So you can have multiple libraries in Foursquare, which I actually just learned, which is super helpful. So you can choose to look at all of them at once. First, I have my duo with my boyfriend. He's a double bassist, I'm a violist. So here I have our music. Just 3 things right now. Oops. So if you tap on the music with your pencil, it will start annotating immediately, which is helpful, but then sometimes if I'm pointing things in the music, I just kind of forget. So yeah, this is one of the pieces we're working on right now. You can see my markings in it. Super easy to read. Very nice. I love this app. Okay, next I have viola solo music. Right now I just have Bach and Rigger in here, just because I have only had this for about a month, maybe not even a month, but something really cool. I recently just scanned all of my Bach parts, the cello suites at least, because I've used 3 or 4 different editions. There's so many, and they all have different strong points, but you can see the prelude to the first suite is one edition, and then switch to another one. So it's all 6 suites, even though they're different editions. I just have them all in one place with all of my markings in them. I don't need to carry around 3 different books. It is just so nice. Then after viola solo, I have orchestra, which is just excerpts, basically. Let's look at Shostakovich, which I already have open. Okay. So Shostakovich 5, it is still under copyright. So this is just a scan that I was given. It's not the best quality, as you can see, it's a little grainy. And some of the endings were cut off, so it looked more like this, with like little notes written on the side. So I used one of the features where you can create like an empty bar, and then I drew in the notes myself, and it looks better than handwriting it. So the way I did that, just get into annotation mode. Go up to, okay, it shows the bar. It might just be because it's the last thing I used, but it's the shapes tool, and then the bar, and it's a little difficult to use because you never quite know where you're gonna place it. But with some trial and error, you can get it. And then if you tap the ones to the left, these are stamps also. You can find different notes. So let's say, there we go. Tiny, but you get the idea. So that's the way I added in these notes. It's not perfect, but it's at least easy to read. Then after orchestra, I have piano. I only have one thing in here, and it's Harry Styles, but just fun to have extra music on here. So up here, there are just different options. So you can rearrange the pages. You can also copy pages. So if there's like a coda or anything, you can add a page, duplicate a page and add it after, so that you don't have to go back with your pedal or anything. There is a metronome built into this. It's not the greatest, but it suits its needs, and if I need a more advanced one, then I can go to a separate app. You can pull up a little keyboard. Mine looks like this because I have my iPad in dark mode. And you can switch between the octaves. So that's a basic overview of Foursquare. If anyone is interested, I can make another video on this in the future once I get to know it better. I've only had this for a few weeks, so I'm still kind of learning. Let's go to GoodNotes next. I love GoodNotes. I have a bullet journal type thing in here. It's been a lot of fun. So I do keep little notes for myself, for my students. I didn't include their full names just for privacy reasons, but I can check off what we did in the lesson, and then if I star it, then that means we're gonna come back to it the next week so that I can write it on next week's list. Then I have a to-do. I think this was just for YouTube things. I took this picture off Pinterest and I made it look like a Polaroid, and I've got some Harry Potter doodles. So then here's my schedule from last week. I don't include like every single thing, just like scheduled things basically. Let's go to a different notebook. We'll start a new page. So here you can pop up this little box and then it makes it easier to write. You can tap that erase button to erase. Highlighter. There is a way to, you can make it kind of snap so that it's a line. You can draw shapes. That was a terrible shape. I thought it was a square. Okay. And then the lasso tool to pick things up and move them around. Next we have Procreate, which isn't a music app, but it's a fun stress reliever. So I just like to draw on here. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw this digital art that I made from a picture. So I basically traced over a picture, that picture of me. I traced over it and colored it in. It was a lot of fun. It only took me like an hour or two. I would have thought it would have taken me longer, but it was a lot of fun. Then we have Safari, of course. So Modacity is a really cool practicing app. It looks like I've not really used it on here, but that's because I used to have this on my iPhone when I had one. Since I have an Android now, it's not available in the Google Play Store, so I just haven't been able to use it recently. But I think I might start using it again. It's super nice, so you can start a practice session, choose what you're going to practice. These are just the examples they give you. You can favorite different pieces, start, it'll automatically start the timer, and you can record yourself, which is very helpful because it's just right there. So, as musicians, we can always record ourselves some more, and having it right here is going to make it a lot easier. There's also drones and a metronome. So you can change lots of settings on the metronome. Oh, oops. You can write notes for yourself on how things went. I do use a physical practice journal, so I wouldn't do much with that personally. You can probably add in your own practice time, and you can actually talk to other musicians and ask them questions about practicing or just how to use the app, which would be super helpful. Okay, so let's stop the recording, and it'll play back automatically. Which is very helpful because it's just right there. So, as musicians. So that'll get you to actually listen to yourself say, went pretty well. Finish the practice session. And then it'll tell you congratulations, which is just awesome, and you can set reminders for yourself to practice at a certain time, which would be very helpful. There's also another new practice journal app. I haven't tried it out yet, I just downloaded it last night. It's only for iPhone right now, but I downloaded that version on my iPad. But I saw on their Instagram that they are working on an iPad version, so that'll be exciting. This has a similar notes feature. You can see statistics on how you've practiced, timer. So I'll experiment with that one more and get back to you on how that one is. All right, so let's just go through my apps. First, I have FaceTime, of course. I've used it a few times already, and it's really great on the nice big display. Then I have a folder of all Apple apps that I don't necessarily use, but I don't want to delete, or I just don't have another place for it. Next are other kind of stock apps, but more useful ones, but I don't need access to them all the time, so I just put them in this folder. Then I have Google Calendar. It's like my main calendar, although I do have a planner on here. Yeah. Then we have the Photos app, camera, then Google Keep. I use this just for general notes. Here's what I wrote for protecting your string instrument from cold weather changes video. Just all of my notes and kind of a script for the video and idea for the blog post. So I like to use Google Keep because I do have an Android phone, so it syncs between everything that I own, and it's just really handy since, you know, Apple Notes is nice too, but then it won't sync to my phone. So Google Keep is my solution to that. Then I have voice memos. Here I just have 2 little duet recordings I made for my piano students. Then I have more TV apps, Netflix, Prime, Peacock, Disney Plus, Apple TV. Just realized I wasn't using my pencil, and I love this pencil so much. I did get my name engraved in it, but my case is covering it. So here, I'll try to show you. So beautiful. Okay, gonna put this back on now. Then we've got settings and then files. What I love about files is that I have Google Drive set up in here. So everything on the iPad kind of automatically goes to your iCloud drive, which I really hate because I only have like the free 5 gigabytes. But I use Google Drive all the time, so this is super nice for me. So, you know, I have sheet music in here somewhere. Sheet music, there it is. So I have basically, not my whole library, because my whole library is mostly, you know, physical sheet music, but, you know, I have so much in here. Let's get to that. Walton, my part. So this is just a scan of all my fingerings and everything, which is super helpful because, you know, I did learn it on, you know, the physical sheet music, but then I can access it anywhere and not have to worry about not having the music. Then I have Pinterest, which I absolutely love. If I don't stop now, I'm going to be here for an hour. Okay. Then we have YouTube. I absolutely love watching YouTube on this iPad. The speakers sound so good. Then I have YouTube Studio to just check up on my channel. Evernote is what I use on my laptop, so I have this if I ever want to check my notes on my iPad. And then I have Gmail. I use a few different Gmail accounts, so it's helpful. That's Spotify. Like I said, the speakers on this are amazing, so I love listening to music on here. Then I have my favorite tuner app. This has always been my go-to on Apple devices. I haven't really found a good one on Android yet. There are ads, but you can pay to remove them. Next we have my metronome app. This is my favorite metronome app. It's just easy to use. You can also tap to get a tempo. Oh wow. Yeah. And then there are lots of different options. I don't have the Pro version on this iPad yet, but I do have it on my Android, and the subdivision option is so helpful. You can change what kind of note gets the beat. You can change how many beats in a bar. You can change what they sound like, so you can put an accent on the first one. And then there are different modes, but you do need to have the Pro for that. Next I have Outlook, which is what my current school uses for their email. Then I have Messenger. It's just helpful to send messages. I don't have Facebook on here. I do have Instagram and Twitter, but I don't know. I just don't like having Facebook on my iPad. It's too much of a time waster, and like, I don't really need it. Next I have all my book apps, because I read a lot. I haven't actually read on my iPad yet just because I've been reading physical books more lately, but this will definitely be very nice. Like, this is a nice big screen to read off of, so I'm excited to read some of the ebooks that I have, because I have a lot on Kindle. Like, a lot. I'm excited to get to read all of these on such a nice screen. Okay, then I have Google Docs. I don't like Docs very much, but I do use it for one of my students. I write notes for her lessons on how to practice and everything. This is the pedal I use. It's by Donner. I got it on Amazon. It has a very bright flashing light. You might not be able to tell how bright it is on the video, but I do want to get some paper just to cover it up. I want it to be like translucent enough that I can still see that it's on and flashing, but not so bright that it would distract anyone in a performance. So there are a bunch of different options, but I really just use number 2, which is page forward and backwards. Oops. So you tap the right pedal and it goes forwards, left pedal and it goes backwards. So it's super easy to use. This pedal totally suits my needs. I know you can get slightly fancier ones out there, but I think that this one is great. So that is what is on my iPad. If you have any questions or would like to see any more in-depth videos about Fourscore or GoodNotes, just anything regarding the iPad or technology in general, please just let me know. Leave a comment, DM me on Instagram, anything like that, just contact me. I would love to make more videos like this and to help you answer your questions or figure out what kind of technology is best for you. If this video was helpful for you, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and comment any helpful apps that you have that I maybe don't know about. I would love to find more apps. I just love searching in the App Store and finding new things. Subscribe for more videos like this and more general music content. Thanks for watching.